My thoughts on the 31st of July, Operation Motorman. For some reason, I believe that British government had mapped out a plan from 1969 on the Battle of the Bog that they didn't allow the nationalists to have a vote. But the Battle of the Bog changed that. But they were also afraid of the official IRA. I'm 64 years of age now, and I spent a lot of time looking at Operation Motorman. Due to the fact of my brother being killed, but really being tortured. On that morning, he was captured, took away, tortured, and then bled to death. The state covered up in lots of things on his murder and the photographs of a murder. What kind of state were we on to? Even now, with Sinn Féin and working with the PNSI, there's no change really. Because I got my brother's inquest in 2017, 19. And yet there was no change because MOD got doing what they wanted to do. And files are locked away now for 100 years. So why was Operation Motorman closed up, locked up? They think it. There was 30 people, maybe 40 people, along with my brother, as himself. And I watched them, and I know who they are, but they failed to become witnesses. I was the only witness to go forward and tell the story. I approached Mark McGuinness and asked him to produce the people that was there. I got a phone call the next day and I was told to come to Craigan. And 2 provisional IRA men, especially one of them, turned around and says, "Badly, the IRA haven't gone away, you know." I offered him over the field, you know, because he thought he scared me. So I offered him over the field, but he refused. But the other person says, "Donny, calm down here." 3 months later, they came back to me. This is that they'd done an investigation, and there was nobody there, which is a lie. So what is the IRA, as well as the British movement, to cover up the Operation Motorman? And I go back to 69, go back to the official IRA, and I can assure you that the official IRA terrified the British government because they were an organisation that basically the British government couldn't break into. I put a statement on the Derry Journal 1984 about IRA and farmers. I spent 12 years after my brother was killed investigating. And when I put the statement on, 3 gunmen came in, took me out of my home, and then put a gun to my head and counted 300 seconds. Told me to go. I went up to my mother's house, and the next day, you're talking 30 army Saracens raided my mother's and took me down to Fort George, where I was handcuffed and hooded for 6 hours. 2 men came in then, producing MI5 badges, saying they would get me away to a safe house, Dover Island. So I asked one of them, I'm being arrested. He says, no. So then I can go. So I headed for the door. And the other boy turned around and says, Mr. Bradley, the IRA and INLA is going to kill you. I says, don't you worry about them boys. I'll sort them boys out myself. And I walked away. Should have I took. But they didn't scare me. MI5 didn't scare me. Nor did the RUCC scare me. Nor did basically the British soldiers. Nor did the IRA. But they didn't make it easy for me either. From the age of 16. They made it very hard. All because I wanted to know my brother's informer. And my brother's informer goes right up to the top. And the story I put in the journal basically had to be true. I was took out in Sunbeam Terrace by army, but I was took out by gunmen in 91 Fahrenheit. But the police report shows that I was took out by gunmen up in 173 Sunbeam Terrace. MI5 makes their mistakes again. I approached a lot of IRA men, and challenged them. And because I'd done a raiding party in Buncrana, Martin McGuinness told me to leave Derry. 76. So I told Martin McGuinness to go take a walk. At this stage, as a well-trained soldier, and can handle myself. I was 21 years of age. And I stood my ground. And I challenged the Republic movement, the professional IRA. But because my two brothers give their life for freedom, and do you think that I was going to leave Derry for some so-called informers? Did another thing coming. And then I went in and I started investigating my brother's death and called for a new inquest. Again, the IRA tried to stop that. And one must have to ask oneself, why? Why would you stop an inquest of an IRA soldier getting murdered? The funny thing about it was, we were at war. The British government declared war on the IRA. I've also got a problem with Jerry Kelly and Adams and McGuinness. Jerry Kelly gets a Queen's pardon. It's also a problem with the IRA and Derry. That so many went for the peace process and the others didn't. So the others that didn't basically were kind of threatened. Who created the peace process? I have a problem with that too. Was it gated in? Who owns Derry? Who owns Belfast? The DUP, they've got a lot of UVF money. And the Sinn Féin, they've got a lot of money, property, backing. Sadly, was it all to do with money? I look now in Stormont And look at the rubbish that's coming out. Look at the Derry graves. They go along and they stick a flag up each Easter Sunday. That's your duty done. That's what it's called. That's your duty done. Yeah. But was your family worth more than that? The hunger strikers, McGuinness and Adams, played a big part in that. They could have saved men because there were deals made behind closed doors. I also often wonder about Scapegoat and Danson. Scapegoat was the Northern squad, but then Scapegoat had to basically take permission of McGuinness and Adams. So was Scapegoat and Danson the fall guys. Look at the sad story now that Adams went up and got his name cleared because he was interned. I would challenge that. I mean, such a Republican, dedicated Republican, comrade he calls him, go up and tell lies that he denies to be. He denies to be. That's right there. All right. He denies to be an LA man and gets money from the British government because they put him interned. He gets money. He writes stupid books. But he was protected. Him and McGuinness were protected all through the years by the British government, by MI5. One must ask why. To create a peace process, it took from 72 onwards. I got a problem with Ballymurphy, and I've got a problem with Bloody Sunday. You see, McGuinness lived in Derry, and Adams lived in Ballymurphy. And there were 12 SAS soldiers, paratroopers, that were sent into Ballymurphy. And these soldiers are trained to kill. No mercy. Shoot and kill. Doesn't matter what they do. And the same 12 soldiers were sent into Derry. I got a problem with that. Because you see, after they were killed, people joined the Professional IRA. And the official IRA disappeared.